Pro soccer in her home country was one of her biggest goals in life, from the time she was a little girl with a crazy imagination and preternaturally strong right foot, until the American Soccer League created an affiliated women's league a few months ago. It had been an impossible dream. But Lainey liked to aim for the impossible. It had the biggest payoff. She'd almost lost everything. But after months of intensive rehab therapy, she was back, now stronger than ever. Nothing would get in her way. As long as season ticket sales increased drastically and her team's games were picked up by a major television station. Otherwise, the owner would pull the plug, and the dream would be over before it even really began. The last two attempts to create a women's league in the United States failed spectacularly. This time around, everyone was playing it cautiously. Each team had to be self-financing, which meant salaries were cut to a third of what they used to be. Airplane travel was too costly, so most of their cross-country road trips would be by bus. Most concerning was the fact that no major TV networks were willing to pick up the league broadcast rights, meaning each individual team was on its own for the bulk of its promotion and financing. The press conference wasn't just another formality. It was one of the few publicity chances her team needed to secure its viability. Victor Labria, the Falcons coach, who was patiently watching the train wreck of a press conference unfold from the seat next to hers, finally jumped in. "Aye. We're going to play hard, put in a good effort, keep the passing tight, shore up our talent, take it to the opponents, put the ball in the back of the old onion bag." He tipped his head in his patented, "Don't question the coach" nod. The reporter dropped his thumb from his mouth and scribbled in his notepad, seemingly satisfied he'd gotten something quotable. Lainey's mind wandered again, imagining what he would chew on once his fingernails were gone. Her gaze shifted over to the hand of the female reporter next to him. She wondered if she should warn her that it wasn't safe to wave those fuchsia nails so vigorously in front of a compulsive nibbler. "Lukas," Frank Diavolo, her team's PR manager, hissed with a jab to her side. She refocused and realized the fuchsia talons were waving at her. "Be polite. We need to make the 6 o'clock news if you want to sell some tickets." The female reporter beamed at Frank. "Miss Lukas? Grace Mallory from Channel 7 News. Following the events of last year's World Cup final, there's been speculation that you were faking the severity of your injuries in order to garner public sympathy and an endorsement deal. Care to comment?" "That's a lie Mari String made up to try to get her FIFA suspension reversed," Lainey spit out, slapping her palm on the table and losing her cool. It had taken 2 weeks and a team of specialists poking and prodding every inch of her body before she could use the bathroom by herself. 3 months before she could even run a mile. And this woman who probably never so much as stubbed her toe accuses her of faking? All the excitement from the World Cup victory had faded long before Lainey was ready to entertain the idea of an endorsement deal. By the time she'd fully recovered, it was as though the victory had never even happened. The reporter's plastic-perfect face faltered at Lainey's outburst. "Well then, let's turn to more important things. Frank Diavolo has personally asked me to unveil the new uniform in just a few minutes. Have you seen it yet?" "No." Lainey rubbed her temples. She could feel the beginning of a migraine coming on with each increasingly banal question. She knew Frank was courting Channel 7 for sponsorship, but the antics and hoops they needed to jump through were getting ridiculous. "Well, no time like the present." The reporter's high-pitched voice was the audible equivalent of a smiley face on crack. Grace walked up to the stage, then turned to her cameraman and fluffed her overly teased blonde bob. "Good evening, Seattleites. I'm Grace Mallory with Channel 7 News, where serious news and serious fun come together. Buzz is building in anticipation of the American Women's Soccer League inaugural game on May 15th, right here in Seattle. Tonight, I have the distinct honor of unveiling the Seattle Falcons' new uniforms." Frank motioned to an assistant.